Technically, everything's farm to table. So like McDonald's is a farm to table restaurant. It kind of means nothing. Here at OSIP restaurant, the menu doesn't really start in the restaurant, genuinely starts in the farm. I think what's specific to us is that we own and grow our own vegetables. I'm Ciaran Brennan, head chef here at OSIP restaurant. And today we're going to go to the farm, talk to Jed, pick some vegetables, and then come back and cook some delicious food. Today we're going to cook just 2 dishes, one really simple salad of Tokyo turnips, and then a strawberry dessert using strawberries that we've picked from the farm. We are here at Dreamer's Farm, and we're about to pick some Tokyo turnips for a salad that we're going to do. The farms are looked after and run by Jed. He is our head grower. He's responsible for all things growing at OSIP. We would be very much lost without him.
The way the farm is set up is that we have basically 2 sites. So we're at one site now where we have 1 polytunnel for indoor growing and a small greenhouse that we also use for growing things that need heat like basil and things like that. And then we have about ½ an acre of outdoor growing space here and ½ an acre at the other site. So Tokyo turnips we cover for flea beetle, but you will notice the leaves have been affected a little bit by that anyways, just because they got into here either before they were planted or they were already in the soil. We try to pick them right about now. They're at the kind of the perfect size. So kind of golf ball size around that is the right time to pick them.
Would you say they're kind of sweetest at that size?
Yeah, I would say the flavor is probably the best too, yes.
So we've got our turnips.
This is our propagation greenhouse. So we start everything from seed, basically, either directly sown in the ground or in trays that we transplant into the ground.
This marigold will just be used as a little garnish for the turnip salad. Jed delivers twice a week. Tokyo turnips are in the fridge already. We're just going to bring them out to the kitchen. So the first dish we're going to do is the salad, the ricotta and the Tokyo turnips. The first thing to do is to prep the main event. So these have just come in off the farm. I'm just trimming anything that's not particularly nice off of the turnips. We always keep the ricotta base, and then we can rotate whatever vegetable kind of comes from the farm. So we've done it with like young leeks. This week it's turnips. Yeah, we can be pretty flexible. Anything that tastes good, that's like easy, has a nice bite to it, we're gonna scrape the skin off. So you just wanna give them like a little initial rinse, and they'll get cleaned up a lot more after they're cooked. So I'm just gonna make a little almond praline to add a bit of like texture and fattiness to the dish, which is gonna be like equal parts almonds and sugar, basically. I'm gonna toast these almonds off, and then we're just gonna slowly turn that into a caramel. By the time our nuts are toasted, caramel should be ready. Water's up to a boil. It's nice and salty, it's very important. And then we're just going to blanch our turnips for, it kind of depends. We're gonna start at like 4 minutes. You want it nice and al dente, and each turnip's a little bit different, so there's no specific cooking temperatures. You just want to make it, each one pretty perfect. So just checking for the knife to go through. You want a little bit of resistance, but you don't want too much. So I reckon we've got another minute or 2 to go on there. So you want them straight into ice. Stop the cooking. We'll let them chill down for about 5 minutes. So we're going to put our hot toasted almonds into our caramel. We want the caramel to be on the darker side. We want to take the sweetness out of it. We want the bitterness to come through. So we want this beautiful, like, dark caramel. We don't want it to be really sweet because it's obviously a savory dish. So we want this kind of bitterness to really kind of pull back on like the sweetness of the turnips and the ricotta. I'm just going to take them out of the ice water. And then we're just going to, so just letting the skin kind of come off, keeping the natural shape. You're not cutting it at all, you're just giving it a little scrape. And because these Tokyo turnips are so kind of fresh and so tender, you can eat them raw, really. We just blanch them just to kind of gives it a kind of a buttery texture. And then this will go as your like first course. It's a really good kind of introduction to how kind of OSIP works and the style of the food, how everything's coming from the farm. She's actually picking flowers for the turnip dessert. Our caramel has cooled down, so we've got this lovely little stained glass window of nuts and caramel. And we're just going to break this up and blend it. So you don't want to blend it too long at all, because you don't want to turn it to this really fine powder. You want a little bit of texture, a little bit of crunch. We've nailed that. So you've got still got some texture in there, but it's blended to a nice fine powder. So what we've got here, obviously our Tiggy turnips, and we've got some beautiful apricots. These are some daisies and some marigolds that we've grown. We've got some pickled apricot jam, a little bit of verjus gel, and then some whipped West Coast ricotta, bay leaf oil, verjus dressing, and this is our smoked almond praline. So we're just gonna portion up our turnips. You kind of want to treat your turnips in terms of cutting them as if it was a piece of fish almost. Quite precise, very clean with your strokes. So it requires a very nice sharp knife. We're just going to dress them really gently in this it's got some verjus, some Chardonnay vinegar, a little bit of very nice olive oil, and then a nice amount of salt. Dress them on a little bit of paper, so any kind of residual liquid gets soaked up. So we're not going to try and blend it or make it into lots of different things. We want to showcase the turnip. So this is just an apricot, bang in season right now. Really nice fresh color. Just going to add nice acidity and a nice little bit of sweetness. So on the base, it's just going to go a little bit of whipped ricotta, and then we're just going to create a nice smooth little well in the middle. Let's say pickled apricot jam. It's going to give really nice sweet and acidity. This is our smoked almond praline. We're just going to be quite generous with the salt, and then we're also adding this bay leaf oil, which is going to turn it from a powder into a paste. It's also going to give it a really beautiful color. Just sitting on top. That's our base of our salads. From there, it's a really good vessel to use any kind of farm produce. Some lovely little apricot slices, but we don't want to smother this in dressing. Want to keep it nice and tight. We're just adding verjus, a little bit of a gel. Just going to garnish this with some of the marigold leaves that we saw growing earlier. So the garnishes, the vegetables, the fruits, all of this can change depending on what's in season and what we can get from the farm, what we can get from our other suppliers. Bit of salt. Really good example of OSIP's food. It's really simple, it's really farm focused. It's very delicious. It's quite clean as well. I don't have an opinion good or bad about Green Stars, to be honest. We opened as a farm-to-table restaurant long before Green Stars existed. We didn't open it to get a Green Star. I think some restaurants do things because they genuinely believe in the things that they do. And I think with the majority of restaurants, you can say they do good things or bad things or whatever. As long as you're trying to do the things that you believe in, I think that maintains the integrity of the restaurant. We like to react to how the farm produces the vegetables. Jed will send us a list every week or twice a week, and then it's a push to get as much on the menu as possible. Throughout the years, we've developed dishes. We have a bit of a repertoire now, so we're quite efficient with how we can utilize the farm and stretch it out for as much of the year as possible. This is where we grow the strawberries, and then literally running alongside is lots and lots of elderflower, which is going to garnish the sorbet.
We are at Coombe Farm, our other site. This site has 2 polytunnels and another about half acre of outdoor growing space. Over here we have our strawberry beds and our other soft fruit, raspberries, currants, gooseberries, and we're starting some blackberries as well, some thornless blackberries, which are easier to pick. When you're growing strawberries, ideally you do them with a black plastic because that prevents slugs and other insects a little more from eating the strawberries. You'll see as we pick them from over here, quite a few of them have insect damage because they're sitting on the soil.
They come up through the soil then?
Yeah. We try to pick them with a little bit of the stem intact because sometimes when they use them whole, they like to have a little piece of the stem, so that's why I do that. And also I think it helps keep them for a little longer. That's a good one. So I'm just looking for the ones that are completely ripe. So I try not to pick them if they have any white or yellow on them. So they should be completely red. Right.
So we're going to make a little dessert with the strawberries that we picked earlier. It's kind of two parts. One is just a very simple, it's like strawberries and cream, essentially. We make a very gentle whipped cream with a little bit of mead and some meadowsweet inside. And then you also get this beautiful frozen bowl with a strawberry sorbet, a granita. And the base of that is a frozen marshmallow, which we're going to make first. This is egg whites, hopefully 150 grams. Equal parts sugar and glucose. We're still going to take it to the same temperatures, but the syrup that we're going to pour in is really, really thick. And that's going to give us that chewy texture that we want in the meringue, whilst still it's soft to the taste. We're also going to add into our syrup for flavor is a little bit of elderflower cordial that we make. So this is like prime elderflower season at the moment. But what we do is we pick lots and lots and lots of elderflower, and then we want to continue to use it throughout the year. So we turn a lot into cordial, a lot into vinegar. We dry a lot of it. So we can use elderflower on the menu all year round if we're organized within this kind of 3-4 week period. This is our sugar concoction. Obviously we put that on the stove now. It's going to burn before it melts all down. So we're going to add a little bit of water, same as the caramel. And then we're going to take this to 112 degrees. When it hits 112, we're going to start whisking the eggs. We're going to bring the syrup up to 118, that last few degrees. Just make sure it's 118 everywhere. Basically traditional Italian meringue. And then when it's at 118, we're going to add it to the whipped egg whites, and it's going to create this really decadent, thick, dense meringue. So this is our frozen elderflower marshmallow. I'm just going to pipe it into our dessert bowls. It's like a really glossy, quite sexy texture. Open it up now. So we're going to get the holes in there now. Freeze them down, ideally for like 4 to 8 hours. They'll get really cold, but they won't set up. So the process for the strawberries, to make the strawberry dessert, the main thing that we want to do is we want to show off the beautiful strawberries from the farm in like the simplest way possible. The best way to do that, in my opinion, is just like strawberries and cream. But eventually the strawberries will start to become not so nice and not so servable. So then we've created a little dessert to go with the strawberries and cream that utilizes all the kind of what would be waste strawberries. So we take anything that's kind of gone a bit soft, gone a bit mushy, we stew them down with a little bit of sugar. As they're stewing, they release all of their juices. All that juice gets separated. We add a bit of elderflower vinegar from last year, and we freeze it in a big gastro and turn that into a granita. And then all the pulp that is left over from the juice, we blend that, and that gets turned into a sorbet. So there's like this cycle of, we use the best, freshest strawberries just to serve them as like the main product. And then when they start to go a little bit less nice, we turn them into dessert. We can serve them together, and it works quite harmoniously. Granita, it's been frozen for a long time. And so this is just pretty much pure strawberry juice, a little bit of elderflower vinegar, and a little bit of elderflower cordial, just to up the sweetness. And you get a really nice red granita. You'd want to cut that one down. But these are just like so pristine. And it's nice that they can like pick them out with their hands and really quickly. Just really gently whip some cream over ice. We've added some mead to the cream just to give it a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of like a boozy kick to it as well. And we're adding like just the tiniest amount of sugar, but we really want the cream, the mead, and the strawberries just to kind of go together. It's really important to me that the cream is not over whipped. And the only way that you can assure that is to whip the cream by hand. So, unless you're on GBM doing a banquet for 85 people, I'm going to whip the cream by hand every time. Way more control over your cream. And you can take it to like the exact texture that you want. And you can really you can feel it, how it's reacting to the whisk. It's still like strawberries and cream at the end of the day. So you want the cream to have a decent amount of like looseness to it. So that's great. Like you should still be able to pour it. If you can't pour it, it's over whipped. Start again, go home, think about what you've done, straight in the fridge. This usually goes in the middle of the table for the guests to share. We really just want to show off the thing that we grew in the best light, not messing around with it too much. So really gently, just kind of bringing it back to the texture that we want. Whipped mead cream, we've dried. Just some meadowsweet pollen from last year. And then there's some olive oil that's been infused with a little bit more elderflower as well. So this is our elderflower frozen marshmallow. And then inside is just some lovage oil. It's going to give a really nice kind of bright herbal flavor. And then this is our granita, made from all of the kind of leftover strawberries. A little bit of elderflower vinegar. Just going to pick our fresh elderflowers. We can dry them and use them to go on top. It's a sorbet made just from the pulp of the strawberries. So it's really clean, pure flavor. The strawberry dessert, I think, is a perfect balance between technique, like the seasonality, using produce from the farm, and then being creative with the waste as well. I think these dishes are really, really simple. You know, we're not changing the world. They're beautiful, they're elegant, but they're kind of showcasing the vegetable or the fruit at its kind of highest point. The idea is that the guests should feel like they have gotten away from at least the city, do you know what I mean? A lot of people come down from London or other places abroad, and we really want them to feel like they are in this beautiful, idyllic part of the world. They're away from like the hustle and bustle, and then they just get looked after really well. They can eat some beautiful food, they can relax, it can feel quite peaceful.